our Championship Sunday special, bringing back a very special guest in Mark Caesar, and after tense labor negotiations, our first-time guest, Mr. Sean Vandy Man, Paparino Vandergrift. How we doing, fellas?
Doing
The
great.
Pogger is here. The Pogger, the Pup. What do you want to be called exactly? Do you care?
The
Ooh,
Pogger.
okay.
The Pog Pup?
The Pup.
Anything?
The Pup.
All right, the Pup.
The Pup.
Hammer.
We'll refer
also
to you as the
acceptable.
Pup going forward.
Thank you.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our picks. There's only 2 games this weekend, obviously, Championship Sunday. We're gonna do spreads. We're gonna do over-unders, and then we'll circle back around and do our favorite props. Got to give them word of lock, but then we'll go through the coaching carousel and some other sports headlines. So first, we have at 3:00 on Sunday, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Green Bay Packers. The spread is 3.5 points in favor of the Packers. Over/under is 52.5. So, as an unbiased football analyst as I am, I mean, take a step back and admit that because of how long he's done what he's done for as long as he's done it, Tom Brady's the GOAT, unfortunately. But first and foremost, I am a fanatic of these guys. So, taking off my analyst cap, putting on the fan cap, I am so fucking sick of Tom Brady. He's been torturing my entire football watching life for 20 years. I don't care. He's been torturing my entire football watching life for 20 years. He has a hex on the league. He gets all the credit for everything. Last week, the Saints had like 4 turnovers because Drew Brees can't throw anymore. The first one led to an interception for a 4-yard touchdown drive by Tom Brady. Ryan Russillo tweets, that's why he's the GOAT. So I had to block Ryan Russillo on Twitter. And then you have the fact that Aaron Rodgers would have 15 championships in his place. I saw a preview of the game that was like Antonio Brown might be out, so Tom Brady's going to have to rely on Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Gronk, like, great. He only has 3 fucking amazing targets to rely on. I like to think he's a bad person because it helps fuel my hatred. He filed for the Tom Terrific patent while Tom Seaver was on his deathbed. You're 0-1 against Mark Sanchez in the playoffs. You'll always be 0-1 against Mark Sanchez in the playoffs. As Curry coined earlier in this podcast history, my fuck you pick of the week is Packers -3.5 and the over. Jesse, go.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I love it. The fuck you pick of the week.
So that's such a tough follow-up because you're just such an impassioned speech by you.
And I'm not.
The only thing I'll comment on is that you got baited by Russillo, because if you listen to his podcast, which I do, he has a very good podcast. Shout out to Russillo. He likes to troll people with like very obvious takes on Twitter, and he does like this Tom versus Bill ranking every week. And whoever has the better week, he'll just be like, "Oh yeah, Bill's obviously the GOAT. Oh yeah, Tom's obviously."
It's a good troll.
So you got baited. Good troll by him there. Shout out to Russillo. This is clear in a way. Aaron Rodgers' fuck you tour of the NFL. People were saying he was washed up. People were saying Mike McCarthy, he pulled out the tricks and Rodgers can't do it anymore. Clearly, Mike McCarthy's ass. Look at your Dallas Cowboys. I know we have a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans in this call right now. Right. They're doing terrible with Mike McCarthy. Fuck that guy. Aaron Rodgers is going to light up Tampa Bay, and I think they're due for a correction, because when ESPN gets on the Tampa Bay is one of the best defenses in the league take, it's time to correct that take. Aaron Rodgers is on a revenge tour from hell. Give me the Packers all day. Packers and the over. It's going to be a shootout in Lambeau. I'm taking the Packers, though, with all my heart. And I want to give you a slight tease later on, but I'll save it for the next game.
All right, just to circle back to the beginning of Jesse's rant, when you were talking about people saying that Rodgers was washed or that McCarthy, was the heart and soul of their offense, and that he was gone so that the Packers were lost. People were saying that. You know who wasn't saying that?
Matthew Jefferson Curry.
Jefferson.
All right. I've been day one Rodgers revenge tour. All right. This is my magnum opus take. All right. And so if I don't ride with the Packers here, then again, I've ridden with them all season.
It was all for nothing. It was all for nothing. I don't know if I've ever right now.
I don't know what they were against the spread this year. Probably 500. And I think I picked them every week against the spread.
They were about 500 for sure.
Yeah, no.
I have that stat. Hold on. They are 10-6 against the spread.
Yeah.
All right. So again,
11-6. They covered last week, right? They're 11-6 against the spread.
I think I picked them every week against the spread. So if I were to not pick them this week against old ass decrepit Tom Brady in Lambeau, then what am I doing? I think Devontae Adams is going to have a freaking day. I think Rodgers is going to have a day. Packers roll. That's all I got to say.
Let's go.
Up.
All right. So I've heard if all three of you guys picked the same team to go against it. Is that true?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead.
That's the Bucks. Typically, yes.
Absolutely fade it.
It's good financial advice.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bucks plus 3.5. I think they're actually gonna win straight up. I think the Bucks have the best defense. I know Jesse said that's a fake take, but I do think they have the best defense left in the league or left in the
Tom Brady is the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, factual.
It's ridiculous. He always has a good defense. I hate that, but I do think they have the best defense. They have too many weapons.
Why is the GOAT?
As you guys alluded to, and I also think that Brady needs to make the Super Bowl because that is a big storyline in the NFL. I think he has to make the Super Bowl. I think this is going to be a big part in his end of his GOAT debate kind of a thing. Pro Tom Brady supporters say he makes it to the Super Bowl. I think he doesn't win the Super Bowl. I think naysayers say he didn't win the Super Bowl in his last season. So I think the Bucks take it plus 3.5. I think they just win straight up. And I also take the over.
Damn. So you're going from an NFL scriptwriter angle. Now I'm nervous.
Curry,
the scriptwriters are involved. I'm kind of shaking in my boots if that's the case.
Damn.
Curry, did you take the over?
Was it 52?
52.5.
52.5. Give me the under.
All right.
Mr. Decision.
Just because of Tom Brady magic. I just don't think Rodgers is gonna blow them out. But I don't think the Bucs offense is capable of outscoring Packers. But under.
All right. That leaves it to me. I'll take us matchup by matchup through this game. So first, if we're going to look at the Bucs on offense, the Packers have been one of the 5 best defenses against the pass this year. So I think it's a tough matchup for Brady. Jair Alexander has transformed into an absolutely elite corner this year. Yeah. And so typically he does not shadow, which would mean you would get half on Mike Evans, half on AB. But without AB, I would assume that the Packers choose to have him shadow Evans. And I believe he limited Evans pretty good the first time they played, but I think he'll largely be able to neutralize Mike Evans. With no AB, that really leaves Chris Godwin in the slot as Brady's best option. And then if we look at the run game, that's where the Packers are weak. But to be honest, I'm not super confident that the Buccaneers can win a game on the back of their rushers, especially because they've now chosen to give in Leonard Fournette the majority of the touches. And I think even though he's been hyped up the past couple weeks, he's not good at all. And so for that reason, I'm not very confident in the Buccaneers offense. If we look at the Packers side of the ball, the Bucs are the number 1 run defense in the NFL. While Aaron Jones could still break a big run, I would not be expecting very much there. But this year, at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers has dictated the success of the Packers offense, and the Buccaneers are a mediocre pass defense. And particularly, they haven't been all that good against wide receivers. I think people are hyping up Carlton Davis, the Buccaneers' number 1 cornerback, significantly. But I don't think he can hang with Devontae Adams at all. I think he's going to have an absolutely enormous game and really break it open for the Packers. For that reason, I'm going to take the Packers minus 3.5. And I'm also going to take the under here because I think Aaron Jones will be limited, and I don't think Brady is going to have a great game passing the ball in the cold Lambeau weather. I'm hearing there might be flurries in the game as well, so a little bit of snow, which could affect things. So, yeah, I'll take Packers minus 3.5 and the under.
Mark, can I ask you an analytic question before we drop this point? So does snow, what's the weather event that affects the over-under the most? Snow, wind, rain?
It's gotta be wind.
Wind. It's all wind.
Wind by far affects it, which is why the over-under sunk a lot last week in the Ravens-Bills game.
Still was way under.
Yeah, because and there was a lot of wind. So I think the initial over-under was like in the low 50s, and it was like 48 or 49 by the start of the game as Vegas became more confident that it actually was going to be really windy. And then snow would be next. It makes it more difficult to throw the ball, but to some extent it actually gives an advantage to the offensive players because they know where they're going to go. Whereas the defenders have to try to follow, and it's a lot more difficult in the snow. So it affects it some, but not that much. And then rain has next to no effect. I'm
gonna say some teams really do well in snow, especially when you'll see in snow teams will do like a lot of motion and like jet sweeps and stuff because they're like already at full speed when the play starts, and then the defense kind of has to like spin their wheels a little bit to get going. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I subscribe to that take completely because there's that game Brady had like 10 years ago where he threw 7 touchdown passes in a downpour of snow. So if you know what you're doing in the snow, you can definitely take advantage of that.
And that Shady McGuire on.
I was going to say, boy, I was there.
Yeah. Damn.
Sure, he was there. Mark that down. Yeah.
Sean on an island.
If Jalen Ramsey can't cover Devontae Adams, no one can cover Devontae Adams.
No.
Let's be real. And just for as a record, on the record, that first Buccaneers Packers game never happened. We were recording a podcast.
Let the listeners know why.
No, Sean tried to
kill
Mountain
everyone. Weekend, no one watched that game, so it never happened. So we're discounting that completely. So Vegas is actually saying that it did happen because I was expecting the spread to be 6.5. But Tampa Bay kind of wrecked them last time they played. So the fact that I get 2 or 3 free points from Vegas, and that's probably not true, but I'm going to say it's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vegas. They're giving out Christmas presents.
Everyone but the Pupperino taking the Packers -3.5. Jesse, myself, and the Pupperino taking the over. Curry and Mark taking the under. Next, we have the night game: Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are 3-point favorites. It's holding there. It's been like that all week, which is kind of crazy to me. So, full disclosure, I already bankrolled the Chiefs when it was at even money. Now it's at -120 at -3.
Love you.
I've been a lifelong fan since 2018, so I got to go with my Chiefs here. Over under is 54.5, by the way. The Chiefs, I wouldn't. People have been saying this all week, but I subscribe to it as well. I wouldn't be surprised no matter what happens in this game. But at the end of the day, we've said it multiple times on this podcast. If you get 3 points or less with the best quarterback on the planet, you got to take the best quarterback on the planet. So I'm taking Chiefs -3. 54.5. I'm feeling overs this weekend, so over there. Jesse, go ahead.
So I've told anyone this who will listen to me. There's not many people in the world who will listen to me, so I've only told a couple people this. Anytime you can get Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, a field goal or less, you take that opportunity. You take out a second mortgage. You take out another loan from the bank. You refinance your student loans. You put every single dollar you have on that opportunity, and you take that field goal or less spread. We may never get this chance again. If he wins another Super Bowl, you'll never see the Kansas City Chiefs favored by less than 6 points. Will we see this again? Short answer, no. It's the Bills. They're cursed by demons. I have a couple Bills fans in my life. They're acting way too overconfident. Your team's never won a Super Bowl. It's not happening this year. Josh Allen, he's had a nice run. We all agree to that. But his offenses look shaky in the first 2 games. The play that turned it around last week was the defensive pick 6. We haven't forgotten that. And then there was also, it took an entire half for them to wake up against the Colts defense. So Josh Allen, I think your times ran out. Patrick Mahomes will never get this chance again at this low of a number. And by saying that, I think if they play Green Bay, they're still going to it's going to be around a field goal game. So you'll get that chance in the Super Bowl. But for this conference championship week at home, this is such a unique circumstance, and I feel blessed to be able to say I'm taking the Chiefs -3, and I'll take the under because Josh Allen, I don't trust that offense to score points.
I feel like Jesse's like that whole spiel is like exactly what the public thinks. Like, oh, like
I don't
Patrick
know,
Mahomes,
dude. The
3
public
points, like
loves the Bills.
like what?
The public loves the Bills, dude.
I think outside of the greater Buffalo area, because you got to think that every citizen in Buffalo has bet on this game for the Bills.
Yes.
So
also, I think we're at a point. I think we're at a point where people want to find reasons not to bet on the Chiefs, so they're justifying the other way.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm about
Chiefs
to do.
fatigue
Actually.
for sure.
That's exactly what I'm about to do. Like, there's a lot of reasons for me to not bet on the Chiefs here. Like Mahomes, like going through concussion protocol, like he might be very concussed. Like when he plays, I mean, because he's going to play, but like he very well may be extremely concussed. Like when he's in this game, like which could affect his performance. Like I'm just throwing that out there.
Nah, dog,
The NFL would do that.
I'm just
Like,
saying.
concussed
Like,
players
would
play.
never.
It is
NFL
a
would
brain
That has
injury.
never happened before.
It is a brain injury, like to a quarterback. Carson Wentz got concussed and he was never the same.
Yeah,
Just throwing
at the
that
end of
out.
his career, I do subscribe to that.
I'm just saying, like his decision making. Anyway, that's like a terrible take. Like that he's gonna get stupid because of a concussion. But no, you mentioned the Bills defense. Like I just think that they came into the playoffs like ready to play, like knowing that Josh Allen's their guy, but like if the offense is starting slow, the defense for the Bills has been able to really step it up. But I do think that, you'll have two of the biggest play receivers in the game and Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill, kind of squaring off. I think it's really going to come down to a big play by one of those guys. I mean, Diggs has been the absolute man for the Bills and for Josh Allen the entire season. Don't really see the Chiefs stopping that combination. So I'm going to go with the Bills outright and the over.
Complete opposite of me. I love it.
Yep.
All right.
Pup.
All right. So I think this is another NFL script take. So I do want to see Mahomes versus Brady in the Super Bowl. I want to see Mahomes take down Brady again. So I am going with the Chiefs, and I'm going with the over. Never bet an under in my life. Yeah, I think this has been enough hype for the Bills to keep them excited for next year. I don't think they're better than the Chiefs at all. So I think, Chiefs -3 and the over.
Now,
Yeah,
are you more or less confident in this game, Sean, or the first game, Green Bay Tampa?
Ooh, this game. Love.
So you're like Chiefs are going to pound them for sure.
Yeah,
That's
Chiefs. I think Mahomes is winning the Super Bowl, getting the MVP again. It's Mahomes' year.
No, I will say that about your Bills take about like, hey, like great job getting here. Like after the Browns got eliminated, it was like, oh, like what a season the Browns had. Like they won a playoff game. Like good for them. It's like, all right, fuck you. Like you lost. Like
hate Cleveland. I hate their fan base. I hope they suffer.
The Browns had a negative point differential in the regular season this year, and they were getting hyped up like they were like some incredible team. They were outscored by 11 points.
And then
Cleveland's cold,
miserable.
Baker Mayfield. There's nothing to like about Cleveland as a city.
All right, stop giving the Browns screen time. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, Mr. Brain, you're up. No Cleveland takes. We're done.
All right, here we go. Here's the matchup analysis for this game. Interestingly enough, both of these defenses are fairly similar in that on the season they've been bad against the run, bad against tight ends, but generally good at containing wide receivers. So if we want to look at how that matches up against each offense, for the Bills, they don't use their running backs or tight ends almost at all. And the Chiefs, while they have given up a lot of receptions to number one receivers, they pretty much just like say, you're not going to beat us deep for a big play. Like we'll give you underneath passes and in the middle of the field all you want. So I would guess their strategy is going to be to prevent Stephon Diggs from popping off any huge plays. He may end up with a lot of receptions, but I think that will be their strategy. And I think the Bills just don't have enough weapons in the backfield or in their tight end group to really take advantage of that. However, I do think Josh Allen will have a lot of yards. I would probably look for some of the other receivers on the Bills, like John Brown and Gabriel Davis, to do all right. Cole Beasley if he's over his injury, because the Chiefs overall have not been a great defense. So I think they will move the ball, but I think the Chiefs will kind of just prevent them from getting any chunk plays and just try to limit a bit. And then if you look at the Chiefs side of the ball, while they probably won't take huge advantage of the Bills' weakness against the run, and maybe the Bills will do a good enough job of bracketing Tyreek Hill, I think their two main players, Kelsey and Hill, actually don't match up too poorly against the Bills, because the Bills' greatest strength against wide receivers is Tre'Davious White on the outside. He doesn't move into the slot, so if the Chiefs are smart enough to get Hill in the slot at all, they may have some good matchups there. And then the Bills have been absolutely abysmal against tight ends, so I think Kelsey is just going to absolutely have his way with them the entire game. I would expect an enormous game out of him, and for that reason, I'm going to take the Chiefs, and I'm also going to take the over, because I still don't think it's adjusted up enough since the lower number in the beginning of the week when they were unsure if Mahomes is going to play.
It's just so funny when you're on the side of Mark, just like the visual reactions. I'm enjoying a lot of that. But yeah, I love that Mark said that he expects Kelsey to have a day, because that's the most demoralizing thing in football. Kelsey just moving the chains constantly on your defense. There's no stopping it when he's at the peak of his powers, and that demoralizing aspect, I think, plays in the Chiefs' favor. Going against a team that's never done it before, and the pressure that city's on them, I like that aspect a lot.
Listen, I'm pretty sure yardage for the season, it was Diggs 1, Kelsey 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is disgusting.
And Kelsey did not play the last game of the season. He had that had he played.
Disgusting for a tight end to do. So that's like the greatest tight end season of all time, essentially.
Because that's the thing.
Probably not Gronk 2011 or whatever.
Kelsey's not going to hit you with a home run. He's going to hit you with a 15-yard gain, and then a 15-yard gain, and then a 10-yard in route, and then he breaks 3 tackles for a 20-yard gain.
And then you look at the scoreboard, there's 150 yards, and you're like, how the hell does he have 150 yards? And it's just demoralizing.
Yeah, if you look at his season, he didn't play the last game, and they played in a heavy snow game. I can't remember what week it was, that limited him a lot. If you take those 2 games out, he was averaging like 95 to 100 yards per game with like 8+ receptions on average. Like, absolutely absurd.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone but Curry taking the Kansas City Chiefs here. Everyone but Curry take the over also? You take the who took the under?
I took the over.
I took the over.
Everyone but Jesse
I'm brave enough to take the under.
Yeah. Okay,
Damn.
So that's our picks for the week.
Before we move on, though, I love this parlay so much, I have to mention it. You take Kansas City down to 2.5. You take Green Bay down to 2.5. These teams are going to win by a field goal. If they win by 1 or 2, I'll say something that's not going to get me canceled. I'll just retire. Take that as you wish. I'll retire from this show. But they're going to win both teams are going to win by at least a field goal. 2-1 payoff. I love this more than anything in my life right now. Take that and take it to the bank.
Jesse's tease of the week did not quite work out. That was fake last week because Mahomes got injured.
That was fake, yeah. No, it did work out. You're correcting yourself. It did work out.
All right, so now we're just gonna rip off quick a prop that we like this week. Mine's gonna be Mark mentioned that Devin Singletary sucks, so I'm gonna take under 41.5 rushing yards for him as my mortal lock. They're just not gonna use him. They're just not gonna use him enough to be able to get that yards. Maybe they could run well on the Chiefs, but they're gonna get down early and it's not going to happen for him. So 41.5 is too big for me. Take the under on Devin Singletary rush yards.
So for my prop, I am going to take, this is preparation. We do it for the banter. I'm pulling it up right now, trying to stall a little bit. We're going to go with Josh Allen over 33.5 rushing yards because he's going to be pressing this game. When young quarterbacks start to press, they don't look downfield. They're going to be trying to find the gaping holes in the defense, and I think there's going to be opportunity to run on this Chiefs defense because they're not going to try to limit you. They're going to try to limit the chunk plays, but Josh Allen running, I could see him getting that overage pretty easily.
Good argument. I like that one.
All right, so let me give you a little little stat for you. Sabermetrics stat of the day. So Travis Kelce is in the middle of a 5-game stretch where he's had at least 7 receptions and a touchdown and is averaging 109.4 yards per game during that span. His over-under for receiving yards is 95.5. Be Travis Kelce over yards. And I would sprinkle in to score a touchdown as well. I don't know what that is. Probably like minus 120, something like that. Maybe more. Maybe worse odds.
I will get back to you with an answer.
Anytime touchdowns
minus 150 maybe.
Travis Kelce's minus 135. I'm seeing.
Yeah, take that. Absolutely take that. Absolutely take that.
Love that. I might parlay that. I love that so much. I might parlay that.
Go for it.
All right. I'm pretty new to props, but I saw a couple interesting ones. It was Devontae over Godwin receiving yards. I like that a lot. And then combo that with Rodgers over Brady passing yards. I think their offense is more pass heavy. I think the Bucs is more balanced. So I think I think they'll have a better passing attack.
Love that so much.
I feel like Curry might have stolen Mark's, but we'll see.
No.
Mark had 8 of them on deck. So.
Are you crazy?
Oh, Mark is a prop king, by the way. I'll give him that.
I usually, when I'm doing my full DFS research, which is means I'm looking at every player in detail, I usually throw a few props to Sam and Richie. But this week I didn't do nearly as much research. But I'm still going to take Ronald Jones over rushing yards. Even though Fournette has taken a slightly higher share of the backfield, Ronald Jones has still been getting 12-plus carries every single game. The Packers' run defense blows. I think the Buccaneers are going to have to rely on their run to stay in the game. And his over is 36.5 on FanDuel. But if you're savvy, you'll go to PointsBet or William Hill, which have him all the way down at 33.5 rushing yards. I think that's easy. He should get at least 10 carries, so you pretty much would need him to average under 3.5 yards a carry not to hit. And against the Packers' run defense, plus given how good Ronald Jones has been running the ball this year, I think that's pretty unlikely. So I think it has a good chance to hit, although he is somewhat volatile because you never know who Bruce Arians is going to choose to give the touches to in the backfield in any given week.
I'm going to stay on FanDuel, so if he gets 34
I was going to say,
yards, I'm just going to sue him.
There's going to be a massive comedy angle if that arbitrage is large enough where it hits on PointsBet, but Curry still gets screwed over. That's going to be hilarious. I'm hoping that happens, actually. 35 would be my dream scenario.
So those are our props. Those are our picks for the week. Let's do a little coaching carousel. The obvious one on everyone's mind is Mr. Nick Sirianni. As an outside perspective, I do kind of dislike the Eagles, so not totally unbiased. But my first reaction was, "Who is this guy?" I think a lot of people that was. If you're not way into the coaching search, you didn't really know who this guy was. So found out he was the Colts OC. People freak out about the play call thing, but Doug Peterson was the same thing. It reminds me a lot the reaction of the Doug Peterson thing. To me, what happened here is pretty clear. They said, above all else, we need to fix Carson Wentz. He was an MVP talent. If you get him back to an MVP talent, that makes so many things easier in terms of roster building and for the future. So they went all in on a Frank Reich guy that they thought that they think can fix Carson Wentz. That's the number one priority. And if it doesn't work out, they'll just scrap it again when they have cap room and can actually build. That's the way I see it. Curious to hear what the rest of you think as all Eagles fans. So Jesse, go ahead.
Yeah, my 30 seconds on Nick Sirianni, not to be confused with Nick Siriano. Sorry for the docs. Shout out to Soar. But yeah, I mean, this is clearly it's concerning because this guy's going to have no power in the organization. Howie Roseman, I read a couple articles where he's setting the game day lineups, who's up, who's down. That's just such a disaster as far as trying to get good candidates into your organization. Not to say that this guy isn't a good candidate. He's young.
Can I just throw something in real quick?
Sure.
Above all else, this is such a unique situation. When do teams ever get MVP type performance out of their quarterback, then pay them, then they regress like this? It's literally never happened. So they're handling it they're handling a completely unique situation. Just want to throw that in.
Yeah, so this guy, he comes from the Frank Reich coaching tree. That offense, the 2017 offense, was explosive. Carson's best season. You're hoping to get some sort of synergy between that style of play calling and Carson rebounding from the worst year of his career. I don't see it because Howie Roseman can't draft a receiver to save his life. May I mention to you Jalen Rigor over Jefferson? May I mention J.J. Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf? Absolutely abhorrent drafting. Until Howie's gone, I have no faith in this organization. This guy might be a great coach. He may be my second team is better than my first team coach because this situation sucks. Hopefully Soar figures it out. We're all rooting for you. We're not rooting for Howie Roseman, though. I hate that guy. And I'll pass it on to Curry.
No, like I looked up Nick Sirianni after he got hired because I was like, who is this guy? And I looked at his Wikipedia page. It's like a paragraph. Like, it's embarrassingly small, his Wikipedia. It's literally like he was born and then he coached at Mount Union, which was his alma mater. It says his leap to the NFL came in 2009 when, after an impressive interview with new coach Todd Haley, he was hired by the Chiefs as the offensive quality control coach. What does that even mean? And then he went to the Chargers, then the Colts, and now it says the Eagles. But like each team is like a sentence. I mean, like this guy is just a nobody. He's a human being. He's our coach. I heard that he got hired, and I was like, I feel nothing. I am not happy about this hire. I am not sad. I'm not angry. I'm not excited. This is just a man who's now going to coach our team. So maybe he's just a sandbag in there for us to tank and for Howie to blow it up. But I don't see Howie doing that because, I mean, if we tank, like, he's gone. You know what I mean? So I don't know if Howie's trying to save his own ass by hiring this dude who he can, like, boss him around and tell him what to do, or I don't know, man. But, yeah, I'm not excited. I'm not anything. If we tank, we tank. We just won 4 games, so, like, I'm pretty numb to losing for the next 2 seasons. Like, if we win 2 games next year, that would suck, but it's something you got to deal with. If we win, 7 games, like Jesse mentioned 2017, like, like riding that high. I'm like, we have all the same fucking players from 2017 that have just gotten worse. Like, yeah, including Carson. Like, we got Jalen Reagor. Oh, great. But we also gave Deshaun Jackson a bunch of fucking money, like, for no reason. Like, oh, great. Yeah, and Alshon Jeffrey, we gave him a bunch of money, like, even though our city just completely turned on him after he talked shit. So
anti-Deshaun Jackson podcast, thank you.
Both thieves should be arrested. But go ahead.
Stole money for years. He should be arrested for being a thief. No, that's my take on Nick Sirianni. I mean, again, Soar, I hope you do well, man. Like,
for sure.
But it's whatever. I hope you find a better job when you get fucking shit canned.
Agreed.
All right.
When the blame gets placed on you, I agree. I hope he rebounds.
Yeah. When Carson doesn't return to MVP status and everybody blames Soar, see ya.
Soar.
What I don't get is this: you have this unique situation, but you drafted a quarterback in the 2nd round. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But Sean, go ahead.
That was the worst draft pick of all time. I said
it
when it happened. I'll say it again. It was the worst draft pick of all time.
Yeah, it really didn't make any sense. My take is I don't really understand the Frank Reich Carson Wentz connection. Like, it seems like a reach. Like, Frank Reich was good with Wentz, then Frank Reich went and taught this guy how to coach Wentz. I don't understand that kind of a connection. And also just from watching the Colts at the beginning of the year, the first half, they were supposed to have the best running game like ever to come into a season. Like, they had all the talent on their line, and then they were like bottom half and all the like notable running stats, and it just like their offense just didn't look good. So I kind of nervous just associating their offense with the with Soar. But yeah, I'll blindly support any Eagles coach just because what else am I going to do? But we'll see how it goes.
My take is that it was actually not a bad hire because there wasn't particularly anybody that I really wanted. And I think there were a lot of options that would have been much worse than this, as in if they went for a defensive coach or like Deuce Staley or something like that. I think it would have been a really bad decision. Josh McDaniels, I would have hated. So I mean, this is like the worst of all evils, I guess, in my opinion. The Sirianni guy, I think people are giving him a little bit too much flack. Like, it's tough to tell how good he actually is, given that he's never been in like a high-profile role before. He could end up actually being really smart. I doubt it. I'd probably think he ends up in a similar category to Doug Peterson, where he has to be surrounded with a lot of other good coaches and good players in order to win. And he ends up being a pretty mediocre coach, but we'll see. And then just to touch on the other things, I think similar to Doug Peterson losing Frank Reich and whoever, I can't remember the quarterback coach's name, after we won the Super Bowl, and then the Eagles starting to do worse. I think the same thing happened in the front office.
John DeFilippo.
John DeFilippo, yeah. Because if you remember back after we won the Super Bowl, everybody was praising Howie, like, oh, what a great job he's done. We made all these great free agent signings. He did such a good job of managing the financials. But what people, I think, don't realize is that he lost his top two assistants in the front office after we won the Super Bowl. Joe Douglas went to the Jets, and Andrew Perry went to the Browns. And similar to the Reich-Peterson situation, I think those two guys were actually smarter than Howie was. I think Howie's decent at managing the salary cap, but not good as a drafter or maybe so much in player evaluations at all. So, and Andrew Perry, I know for a fact, is one of the most analytical GMs in the NFL, and probably why the Browns turned it around this season after whatever was 25 years of being in the gutter. So I think that's really what impacted it. I think Howie needs to go. And I'll say this, if we don't select Devonta Smith or Jamar Chase in the first round this year, I will not root for the team. I'll be rooting for them to go 0-16, and that would be an absolute disgrace.
Let's go Bills.
We're pretty much out of time here. Dan Campbell's a psycho. Brandon Staley was a weird hire because they should have hired. Everyone thought they were hiring Brian Dable. I don't really understand what happened here. So that's all we got. Conor McGregor fighting tonight. Jesse, should I care?
Yes, because you're going to be able to make money if you take the odds boost for McGregor to win by a knockout on DraftKings plus 200.
Great. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks again, Sean and Mark, for coming on. We'll catch you next week for the Super Bowl, or maybe the week after. Who knows? See you guys.
Oh, hell yeah. Love you guys.